submission.
That's grand. Minister, I want to acknowledge at the outset that your department has launched the 40 million package of supports for community and voluntary organisations, charities and social enterprises, which I wholeheartedly welcome. I also acknowledge the fact that it includes 35 million COVID-19 Stability Fund to qualifying organisations who are most in need and have seen their trading or fundraising income drop significantly during the crisis. I am aware that the applications to this fund closed on the 21st of May. But my first question is, how many applications have your department received to date and how much of that funding has been drawn down? My concern, Minister, is that it could be similar to other departments where there was great schemes, great initiatives, but there was not a poor uptake and not enough of an uptake. And I'd just like to ask you, is that the same in regard to your department? In fact, I highlighted last week when I noted that the approval rate for loans or supports under various COVID-19 schemes appears to be very low, and we need to assess why there may be difficulties in local traders and SMEs accessing many of the necessary COVID-19 support schemes. For example, in terms of the Microfinance Ireland loans, the latest data available to Oireachtas members indicates that only 3 businesses in Laois and 4 in Offaly have inquired about funding under this scheme. And I'd just be worried that there's a barrier there or a reason why they're not able to get the funding. In terms of the COVID-19 business continuity voucher, there have been 131 inquiries from Offaly, but only 81 applications have been approved. In Laois, there have been 63 inquiries, while only 36 have been approved for the voucher. Minister, is there, as I asked you at the beginning, a similar pattern? And I'd just like for it to be rectified immediately and made easier for people to access the vital supports that they need at this time, if there is such a pattern in your own department. Minister, the next issue I want to raise is, I want to ask you if you will put on record your own view or view of the department with respect to the protests that took place over the weekend. And I want to clearly state that I condemn all racism and violence. I ask this only in the context of the ongoing restrictions that remain actively in force in many parts of rural Ireland. In particular, the restrictions around marts and small regional agricultural shows, which have been adversely affected and cancelled because of the legitimate social distancing fears. If a charity, community or voluntary organisation that your department is supporting were to hold such an event where hundreds of people gathered, there would be condemnation on all sides and even the possibility of having funding withdrawn. And this is something that has been brought to my attention by many rural people who are very frustrated at what they're seeing, the double standards that we're witnessing. Is there one rule for rural Ireland and another for urban Ireland? And is this fair? There are so many issues facing rural Ireland, Minister, as you have alluded to at the beginning of your speech. Everything from impending cuts to CAP, to accessing appropriate levels of leader funding, to ensuring that a just transition does occur in the Midlands, and particularly in counties such as Offaly and Laois, where we're seeing the demise of Bord Namona and the loss of up to 1,000 jobs by the end of this year. My next question is in relation to that just transition. Have you or your department engaged in any capacity with the Just Transition Commissioner on the recommendations of his first interim report? If so, what role do you envisage your department playing in the rollout of the Just Transition strategy?